Serena Sugden is about to cause a stir in Emmerdale next week, as her mysterious arrival continues to unsettle the villagers. Her persistent questions begin to frustrate Moira Dingle, leading to a tense confrontation. Could Moira decide to investigate Serena's motives herself? Serena made her debut last week after finding Charity Dingle upset near the lake and offering support. Although their first encounter was awkward, they quickly developed a connection, prompting Charity to confide in her about everything she had been dealing with. After encouraging Charity to tell her family the truth about Layla's real parentage and the blackmail involving Dr. Todd, Serena headed into the village. Since arriving, she has quietly gathered information, and her growing interest in John Sugden has already raised Sarah's suspicions. In the upcoming episodes, Serena begins asking questions about Nate Robinson, who lost his life after John accidentally killed him during one of his failed attempts to play the hero. Her curiosity catches Moira's attention, and Moira openly challenges Serena, making it clear she doesn't trust her. Will Serena stop asking questions after being confronted in front of everyone, or is there a much deeper reason behind her unexpected visit? A source from the show explains that Serena continues to be surrounded by unanswered questions. During this week's episodes, several villagers begin to suspect that she already knew about John Sugden's deadly secret, but deliberately kept silent. She also continues digging for more information by questioning people about him. Meanwhile, Kev unexpectedly recognizes Serena, suggesting the two may have crossed paths before. The following week, Serena shifts her attention back to John's long list of crimes by investigating the events surrounding Nate's death. Whether she's simply searching for answers or pursuing a hidden agenda remains unclear. Kane Dingle is faced with heartbreaking news in next week's Emmerdale after another frightening fire leaves the family fearing the worst. The Dingles are left devastated when their much-loved dog, Monty, is diagnosed with cancer shortly after Kane risks his own safety to rescue him from a blazing shed. The emotional discovery mirrors Kane's own health struggles, forcing him to confront difficult questions about his future. According to a source close to the show, Monty's diagnosis deeply affects Kane. Looking into the dog's eyes, he recognizes the same fear and suffering he has been trying to ignore in himself. While he's willing to do everything possible to save Monty, he continues to resist accepting the medical treatment that could help save his own life. Kane also faces more family turmoil, as Kyle's increasingly defiant behaviour creates fresh tension. After warning his son that the Tate family cannot be trusted and reminding him that Joe was responsible for Amy's death, Kane is shocked when Kyle returns home emotionally shaken. Unknown to Kane, Kyle had secretly visited Joe in search of answers. During the emotional encounter, Kim Tate and Graham Foster had to step in and calm the distressed youngster. Realizing where Kyle has been, Kane storms over to Home Farm in fury. He confronts Joe directly, grabs hold of him, and demands that the Tates stay away from his family. As Joe tells Graham to decide where his loyalties lie, the conflict between Kane and Kyle continues to escalate back at Wishingwell, leading to disastrous consequences. An insider reveals that Kyle's anger soon boils over, causing him to set a shed on fire without realizing Monty is trapped inside. Kane immediately rushes into the flames, breaks down the door, and emerges carrying the frightened dog before racing him to the veterinary clinic. Kyle is left overwhelmed with guilt over what has happened. Paddy later warns Kane that the family should prepare themselves for the worst, prompting Kane to lash out at Kyle in frustration. The following day brings even more devastating news, when Paddy confirms that Monty has been diagnosed with cancer. Heartbroken, Kane takes Monty home from the vets and quietly walks with him while thinking about whether to pursue treatment. As he reflects on the dog's condition, he cannot ignore the similarities to his own battle with illness. His determination to save Monty makes him question why he has refused to give himself the same opportunity. A source explains that Kane finally begins to understand he should undergo radiotherapy. The possibility of losing Monty forces him to see things differently, making him realize that if he's prepared to fight for the family pet's life, he should also fight for his own. With Monty's future hanging in the balance, Kane is left wondering whether this painful experience will finally convince him to accept the treatment his loved ones have been urging him to take. Kane Dingle faces a shocking discovery in next week's Emmerdale, when Graham Foster finally reveals the truth behind the mysterious fires at Emmerdale Farm. The dramatic revelation exposes Kyle Winchester as the person responsible for starting the blazes on Robert and Aaron's property. Although Graham learned the truth some time ago, he chose to keep Kyle's secret while attempting to guide him away from further trouble. However, Graham can no longer remain silent and eventually tells Kane that his own son was behind the dangerous incidents. According to a source close to the show, the news leaves Kane completely stunned. Not only is he devastated to learn that Kyle has become involved in criminal behaviour, but he is also hurt that his son trusted Graham with the truth instead of turning to him. As a devoted father who would do anything for his children, Kane struggles to understand why Kyle felt unable to confide in him. The drama begins when Lydia informs Kane that Kyle is in possession of Graham's watch, immediately raising suspicions. Before long, the missing pieces of the puzzle come together as Graham admits that Kyle was responsible for the farm fires. Furious and desperate for answers, Kane confronts Kyle directly and demands to know whether Graham's accusations are true. Nearby, Moira overhears the tense exchange as the family crisis unfolds. An insider reveals that Kyle soon finds himself facing a crucial decision. Under pressure from Kane, he must choose whether to tell the truth about what happened or attempt to cover his tracks with more lies. The situation becomes even more difficult because Moira is also present during the confrontation. With both of his parents waiting for answers, Kyle must decide whether to admit his actions or insist that Graham's story is false. Elsewhere, it is an emotional week for the Dingle family, as Charity takes another brave step in her fight for justice. Determined not to give up, she reports Dr. Todd's assault to the police once again, and this time reveals that she was also subjected to blackmail. Despite her courage, Charity is disappointed when she learns that this new information may do little to strengthen the investigation. The setback leaves her questioning whether speaking out was worthwhile at all. Concerned for his wife, Mac remains by Charity's side, and together they focus on making baby Layla's christening a happy and memorable occasion despite the challenges they are facing. As Charity begins to lose faith in the process, newcomer Serena continues to offer support and encouragement. Her advice could prove crucial in helping Charity regain the determination she needs to continue pursuing justice. Emmerdale airs every weekday evening at 8 p.m. on ITV1, with episodes also available to stream on ITVX.